Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Hellbound. Alright, cast and crew information down below. And let's start off with this IMDb plot as usual. People hear predictions on when they will die. When that time comes, a death angel appears in front of them and kills them. Not so simple. That makes it very simple, but it's not that simple. First of all, let's say I wouldn't call it a death angel, more like three of them. But let's get into that in a second. So this one is on Netflix. I guess it's been on here for a little bit. I kept seeing the kind of poster for it there, and it kept popping up in front of me, and I couldn't help. I couldn't help it. I was just like, okay, this has popped up in front of me enough times for me to jump into this, and this is a series, TV series on Netflix. 6 episodes. I was hoping it was a little bit more. I was kind of shocked when it kind of ended at 6. And I don't know its future. I don't know if there's more to come. A lot of these. This is a South Korean production from that part of the world. So sometimes it's hard to tell. What we're getting. Do we get everything? Is there ever going to be more? Kind of like Squid Game, I guess. They did that. It blew up here. And, are we going to get more? Are we going to get more? And it looks like we will eventually get more. At what point, God only knows. But we'll see. So here's another one. He's going to end at 6 episodes, and we'll see. I think there's more story to be told here at the end of this one, but, it is what it is. Anyway, let's jump right into this. Try to keep this as spoiler free as possible since it's still fairly new. Not new, but fairly new. And I'm not sure if everybody's seen this or not. But anyway, it does begin kind of like it says. You see, I guess the first person that comes, you don't really know what happens to him. You get some people talking about some weird stuff happening. And then all of a sudden these three kind of monstrous figures, kind of grayish, smoky, pop out of nowhere, start trying to beat the crap out of somebody, and chase them down the street before finishing him off in brutal fashion and basically sucking, I guess, the soul or life out of him, whatever you want to call it, and leaving him just basically with his burnt skeleton there on the ground. Kind of odd, to have these three mysterious kind of monster things flying around, and then the reaction to it, it's weird. You would think people around them would be more running for their lives, but it seemed like everybody was just in shock and awe. But anyway, long and behold, it becomes a police investigation, but obviously this is much greater than a police investigation matter. So we do have some police involvement here. They're going to do a little bit of investigation. One of the police officers is going to kind of lead the way. His daughter's going to kind of get involved with this story here. As more of these sightings of these creatures are coming, and more of these, what they call, I guess, decrees, where the face of one of these, I'm just going to call them monsters. One of these monsters comes and is going to come out of nowhere and just get in the person's face and say, basically, you're going to die in 3 days, you're going to die in 5 days at 10 o'clock or whatever time. Basically, that person is doomed. They have until that time, until these three monsters are going to come out of nowhere and finish them off. And a group called the New Truth kind of jumps on this, and a cult leader is formed, and he's the chairman, and he takes full advantage of the situation to kind of give himself some power, and forms a nice little group here of followers who are kind of following the decrees, following what's happening, preaching about it, and so forth, until the day comes where they convince somebody that they want to film this, so that the world really, really gets to see, this kind of unfold, and then it does, and then that kind of gives them more power. So you're gonna get a little bit of action. You're gonna get a couple of times where these creatures, or these monsters, I should say, or whatever you want to call them, are gonna come out. And when they come out, I mean, they're brutal, and it's, you know, I mean, that's the horror of this. That's the fun part to watch, I guess, if you know, for horror fans. Um, I would say that I'm going to complain a little bit about it because it seemed to be a little inconsistent. Because you have these three bulky, grayish monsters, and, you know, they're obviously played off as much more powerful than us. They obviously have this magic power to just kind of appear. Obviously, religion is played in here, so, you know, you can, like it says there, like it said in the beginning, you know, are they angels? Are they demons? Whatever, whichever side you want to play them on. There is, like I said, is very. I'll get on the religious part in a second, but when they finally get their hands on their victims, you know, they do a lot of tossing them around, and, you know, us humans, when it comes to, I guess, you know, it's one of these things, I guess, you know, you just have to let go in a horror movie, or these kind of films where I guess people are just able to take a punishment, but it just seems like some of the things that these monsters do to these people, they should be dead you know, minutes before they're actually dead. I mean, they get tossed around, thrown to the floor, thrown against the wall, dragged around, whatever. You know, as these monsters are sucking and burning their life away, you know, you can still kind of hear them in agony and blah, blah, blah. I say they should have been dead already. I mean, I don't know. Like, it seemed that the power put on them, they should have been dead, or should have been at least knocked out by the time these things were sucking life, not kind of there struggling and screaming as they were dying. I don't know. It was just, you know, sometimes I let that stuff pass, but I don't know why this time I couldn't. Like, it was just annoying me. I'm like, they just beat the hell out of this guy. This guy should be out. Why is he awake while they're sucking the life out of him? I don't know. If you guys have seen this, maybe you just let it be. I don't know. It bothered me. Like, I you know, I know, you know, you're supposed to sometimes let this stuff go in these, you know, obviously fake movies and monsters and stuff, but I don't know. It just, I don't know, maybe it was the 3-on-1, or I don't know, but it bothered me. Okay, so with that said, but you also get to see the feel of it. You get to see them beat the crap out of some people and drag them around, and some blood and some dead bodies and so forth. So, you know, that is good stuff at the end of the day. And complain a little bit here. The religious part, yeah, it is greatly religious. You know, how much you want to dive into it is, I guess, maybe depending on what you believe. You know, they're gonna play people against each other and what they believe, or at least the people here in this town. You know, the New Truth has their vision of what is happening here. There's a lot of talk about sinning, and that's why these monsters are coming, and they're coming to get sinners. And this is why you shouldn't sin, and humans are sinners, and so forth. And, you know, this is God's work? Is God really doing this? And, you know, there's a lot of that. So it is heavily influenced on religion, and you're going to get a good dose of that. So, you know, maybe it'll play on your beliefs, whatever you believe. You know, maybe you'll find this interesting. Maybe you just have no interest in the religious angle of it. But it is going to play heavy in that angle as well. You know, and then you're going to have some characters that are, you know, battling themselves. They have some things going on with themselves. You know, as these things, you know, as the story kind of rolls on and these things become more widely known, you know, they're going to play on, is it better to confess your sin? You can see some people confessing, I did this, I did that, hoping that kind of absolves them of these monsters coming and looking for them, and maybe God will forgive them before these monsters are set upon them. And then you have others that know they've sinned and try to run, but, you know, once, like I said, once these monsters appear and tell you you're toast. I don't know whether to say this because I don't want to spoil it or not. But I don't know if it was episode 4 or 5, but excuse me, they put a definite twist on the whole religious angle. I would say, the new truth. Well, they do a couple of things here. Um, I will say there's obviously when you have a cult, there's something else going on there. So there's uh, a mystery that's revolved around there, and you'll find that out, which was pretty interesting. And but I think, like I said, with the cult, you kind of got the feeling that there was something else happening here. So there's something else that's going to happen there. There's another little group that kind of forms that plays give or take with the cult. And we'll see that kind of more as the story goes further. But yeah, I think it was, I don't know if it was episode 4 or 5, but they will throw an angle in there, and it was a very interesting thing that they did here. And again, I don't know if the point of the series is really to take on religion and make a point here, or just to make people think, but they're going to do something here with the monsters and who they send a decree to, and that is going to kind of set this table to how kind of this season ends, and it's going to put, there's going to be a point where it does skip forward. It's going to skip forward a couple of years, and and kind of a new setting after certain events happen. It's going to skip forward, and then but there's going to be a new decree that's going to kind of change things, and one that the new truth might not want to come out, one which may kind of spin the heads of people and kind of make them think, what really is happening here. Is it really what the new truth has been saying? Is it really God's will? What is happening here? And I thought it was an interesting thing to do, and I guess, again, depending how much you want to dive into the religion of everything, it certainly makes sense for this story, or at least makes sense, like I said, if you want to think about it, and kind of wrap your head around that. Now, if you're just looking for a story here, a movie, kind of like me, maybe you see the poster and you think, oh, we're gonna get a bunch of monsters. I mean, again, there are its moments. It does have its action. There is build. You got the different characters and so forth. Even the characters are going to do some fighting with each other. It's not always with the monsters. Like I said, there's police involved. There's cult involved. So you're going to see some fighting within the characters as well. But you're never going to escape this religious angle. So if you just don't really want to dive into this to the religious angle of it, I guess, maybe that's gives you an out here. So I guess if you're expecting and you see some pictures and whatever to be a monster-filled thing, it's not a monster-filled thing every minute. I think it's probably on average here. You're gonna get your scenes with the monsters, but it's a lot of human drama here and human fighting and stuff. And obviously religion is at the center point of it. I guess that's the best way to say it. In the end, I was going back and forth. Like I said, I don't try to dive too much into the religion, but I did think it was pretty interesting what they did there. And they definitely leave it with a kind of interesting thing that kind of happens at the end. So would I want to see more? I think I would. I would like to see maybe where they were going with that, and maybe if they have something to expand. But I'm not sure how much more, unless they're really going to reveal, what the true manner is, why these and I don't even know if the story knows, or even that's the goal here. What it is that's really truly happening here. I don't know. I don't know if they know or what the story is that, but if it pushed closer to that, it'd be interesting. But if it ended where it was, yeah, it was okay. You never know. Like I said, there's some series I've been waiting for them to come back. They don't come back. And it is what it is. So with that, I'm gonna leave this one at 2.5 pools of blood. Just because it was a little short, and like I said, for me, I had to complain about that monsters and why people should have been dead long before. I don't know. Again, the religious angle is going to be up for you guys, how much you're interested in it or not. And again, it was a little shorter than I expected. I don't want to punish you too much for that. But I think there's a little bit more room to go there, and I think, maybe if we could expand into that, maybe I would decide better, which way more to go. a little bit more strongly toward, or maybe maybe just don't like where they're going with it. But yeah, so I'm gonna be kind of in the middle, almost incomplete, I guess to say. We'll see where this one goes. But yeah, I mean, if it's flashing up on your Netflix and you're just looking for something quick to kind of get through, and maybe this is it. So with that, horrorreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find more of my reviews. Definitely the written reviews are all there, and the video ones posting there as well. But of course, if you're just interested in the video ones, easily subscribe to the channel, listen to me ramble on, and Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Visit me there, talk horror, talk about this, anything else you need me to review something. Try to keep up with it, try to fill as many requests as possible. I know sometimes it doesn't work out, but I'm not, I try. Lots going on always. Comment section as well. You want to comment on this, the video, this series, something else you've seen on Netflix you think I should watch. I'm always open for recommendations. If you saw this, but you saw something that maybe is in comparison that's better than this, that I should have watched instead, hey, please, let me know. I will add it to the list and hopefully get to squeeze it in there. Anyway, I feel, and I wanted to say it, and I failed to say it, and there's an interesting take, and I hate that I maybe you've already stopped this already, but there's a guy that comes on, and he was very entertaining, and he's got like all this, he's like in the dark, but he's got all this glowing stuff on, and he's kind of got his own YouTube channel as well, and he's kind of filling people in the pieces of what's going on here with the decree, and sometimes he's got some inside information and whatever. Interesting character. I liked him a lot. I liked how they used him. Kind of up the thing, this is kind of it's rather serious, manner, like I said, talking about religion, but he seemed to kind of add a nice layer of comedy whenever he popped up. I wish they would have done it maybe a little bit more, but maybe they didn't want to overuse him, so that was fun. So yeah, I had just off the top of my head, I was trying to remember to say that, but I forgot. But anyway, that's why I guess you should watch all the way through my ramblings. Anyway, let's get out of here. I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.